NBA playoffs 2020 first round in the bubble finally has concluded. And we went back on Negro Damas and his predictions and what he said. And we checking off the where Damian went wrong and where Damian went right in the first round predictions and foreshadowing. First thing I want to say is I'm sorry. Based on the predictions I made, I'm sorry. I apologize to the Miami Heat and Jimmy Buckets. I said belligerently that any team with Jimmy on couldn't get it done. I stand corrected. I apologize to the Miami Heat whole squad, from Hero to Nunn to Dragic to Spoelstra. I should have known better not to sleep on Eric Spoelstra and his strategy, as he's showing us in beating the Bucks 2-0. Not only did I have them losing to the Pacers, which was negligent, see it that Domantas Sabonis is out, but I didn't expect them to be up 2-0 against the Bucks. That's where I went wrong in the first round, and where I also went wrong was what was the other first round in which I went wrong? Oh, the one that just ended. Rockets versus the Thunder. Lou Dart almost proved me right. And that's where I gotta segue and show you. I was wrong with the series. I did have the Thunder winning the series. They didn't by one shot. They just lost to the Rockets. But where I was right after those two wrongs, I was wrong about the Pacers Heat. I was wrong about the Rockets Thunder. Where was I right? I stressed that in these playoffs, you guys were going to see James Harden and Giannis Antetokounmpo struggle. Why? Their strategy of 4 out and 1 in and go by the defender and drive and kick or hope that they get a foul call, it just doesn't work in the playoffs. Lou Dart shows you 2 games in a row how to guard James Harden. Adebayo and other members of the Miami Heat, Eric Spoelstra in particular, is showing you how to guard these straight line type of players. Nothing against Giannis, he's a killer, strong-willed, a rider. Nothing against Harden, he's very skilled and an elite scorer. But they are guardable, and it's so noticeable when the playoff shows, when it's playoff time. The rhetoric, before I get into the second round predictions and into just breaking down where else I was right in the playoffs, I gotta say this. We're catapulting. I see what the young demographic is doing. I see these young bucks talking. Like James Harden is the best one-on-one player in history. You've seen Lou Dart. You've seen a numerous amount of people, Wesley Matthews, years ago, know how to contain his strategy. One-on-one, there's players I could name to where nobody on the planet can guard them. They can only guard themselves. I'll give you 3 off the top of my head without even in hopes that you don't come to rebut. Michael Jeffrey Jordan, Kevin motherfucking Durant, Kobe Bean Bryant. No particular order, but those 3 players one-on-one as far as back to the basket, face up, inside, outside game, more array of moves, not getting stopped frequently. James Harden is not a better one-on-one scorer than any of those players. I could go with more players with Carmelo Anthony, Dwayne Wade, but I would choose not to. You guys are going to throw them numbers in my face, but I look at the shit. He can be guarded by Lou Dart and others. He's going to be guarded well by the Lakers. The strategy is not difficult to guard James Harden. I will repeat saying that. In the regular season, it is, though. With the fouls being called, you can't touch him, and the flimsy nature of the regular season NBA, unguardable. Playoffs, guardable. Giannis, same way. But with that being said, I think I did predict that very well. Even though the stats will be inflated, they will still have their numbers. But I think with the eye test, you'll be able to see Giannis and Harden have a tough time when you really watch play by play. Dart was in his ass all game. Schroeder was in his ass all game. But okay, Celtics Raptors. Or hold on, before let's where else was we right? Nuggets versus the Jazz. We called Nuggets in 7. We got that right on the money, but we did not know Donovan Mitchell and Jamal Murray was going to look like Allen Iverson and Vince Carter back in that Sixers versus Raptors Game 7 series where them niggas was scoring 45, 52, 51, 48, back to back to back to back. We got one of the best duels in history, and I'm going to comment on who I thought outdueled who tomorrow in the video, but we just pointing at the how the series played out, the foreshadow, and where we went right, and it looked right on the money as I expected. I think Game 1 was the one. If Conley was there, they would have won and propelled them in the series, but they did lose that in spite of Mitchell's 50. And even though they came up 3-1, you got 3-1 coming back from Jamal Murray going insane. Literally insane. I never seen a step back all net so many motherfucking times. Make me want to get out there, baby. Shout out to Donovan Mitchell for an excellent series. But and then the Clippers versus the Mavericks. First thing I say, I told you Luka ain't no bitch. But I was wrong when I said he was going to struggle. That man didn't struggle, not a lick. Not a lick. Did well. The only person who he had remotely any trouble with, when you go to the eye test again, is Kawhi Leonard. Kawhi Leonard contested his shots well, played them very stout, but Paul George ain't have nothing for Luka Doncic. Reggie Jackson ain't have nothing for Luka Doncic. Marcus Morris did have a little bit, but he combated with Luka Doncic. They had a battle the whole series, and I thought Luka outdid everybody in his matchup except for Kawhi when he was on him. But then again, you still have Kristaps Porzingis getting hurt in a key series when it was 2-2, and some people may think that if he was healthy, we'd be seeing the Mavs advance, and I can't just debunk that because them first 4 games was critical with Kristaps involved. But nonetheless, we saw Kawhi, be great, be to me the best player in the league today. Now that Kevin Durant is hurt, when he's back and healthy, I expect him to be right up there to the top. But we seen Kawhi be Kawhi. We seen Paul be inconsistent but show up when necessary, and we can hope that Paul George shows up in this next series, and we're going to see what it do when it comes to the Nuggets and the Clippers. But for that series, come on, man. Nuggets just got out of a dogfight with the Jazz. Lakers Clippers, we called it 9 months ago. Fast forward the shit. Speaking of the Lakers versus Blazers. We called 4-1. It went 4-1. I'm no psychic. I'm just a nigga. But sometimes you can foreshadow. I didn't foreshadow Lillard getting hurt, but when you predict certain things like the Raptors Nets, we call 4-0. That's kind of an easy one. But you can just see it's a crash course or a collision course, and you can see how it's going. The Blazers, they were going to compete for a couple of games, but they just don't have enough depth, nor do they play enough defense, nor do they have anything for Anthony Davis. So that's what you have in the first series. For these second series, I have the Nuggets and the Clippers. I got easily the Clips, maybe a 4-1, 4-2. Jamal Murray was excellent. I do not expect him to be still clipped up like this in this series, but I could be wrong. The Lakers versus the Rockets, I got the Lakers winning. Too much height. Westbrook and James Harden do not look good right now, in my opinion. I think Russell Westbrook is very rusty. When you got a player like him who's a streak scorer and who's a rhythm player, him taking time off is going to be hard for him to just snap back into that Russell Westbrook form. So, but luckily they advanced this series, so he got some time to do it. But I don't think they're going to withstand what the Lakers got to offer with their team, be it that they had a long rest as well. So I got the Lakers in 6, maybe 7, because the Lakers ain't been that impressive to me either. Celtics Raptors is already 2-0 Celtics. To be honest with you, I thought the Raptors was gonna win, but after watching these 2 games, I can't say that I'm convinced on that pick. And if y'all gonna show me some love, after admitting that truth to y'all should have respect for me. Trade my pick to the Celtics. I think they have more talent. Well, not more talent. They have more star power. I think the Raptors have the most depth and it's the most complete team, but I think after watching this, seeing Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown and what they're doing, and even Kemba Walker playing his role within those two, and Gordon Hayward being out, they have the star power. But I will say this: I'm not giving up on the Raptors completely, but I think it will go 7. And after watching those two games, I'm convinced the other way towards the Celtics. But I still gotta see what the Raptors come out there and do. So I say it goes 7, and this is me switching to the Celtics in 7 in a good series. Raptors still gonna try. You feel me? And then you got Bucks Heat. It's already 2-0 again. And this one I thought the Bucks. Again, I told you I slept on the Heat. I did not know these niggas was gonna be like this. I'm sorry. I did not know that Eric Spoelstra had the game plan for everybody in his way. I did not know Jimmy Butler. I forgot about Jimmy Butler. I know he's clutch, and I had a little bit of, I had a little bit of hating in me. It's a little bit of hating in me just for him and his role with the Bulls and Derrick Rose's kind of departure for him to be the number one, and then you have him going to Minnesota, messing up that chemistry. Derrick Rose there too. I'm a Derrick Rose guy. Y'all know this, and I'm just seeing the chemistry and camaraderie, and I curve Jimmy Butler. So with that being said, I didn't see him doing the Heat like this, but shit, I mean the Bucks like this, but with giving the Bucks a predictable strategy, given Eric Spoelstra's coaching, given the team they have, I don't see why they can't beat the Bucks right now. Barring Bucks starting to hit their jumpers, Brook Lopez, George Hill, Eric Bledsoe, Middleton, which they're not, other than Middleton probably. I do see the Heat winning in 6. With the giving the 2-0 though. I got a 2-0 head start in predicting that. So, but that's it. And then still you have, when that happens, if the Heat play the Celtics, I don't even know. I ain't even thought about it. I ain't even thought about it. He played the Celtics. I'll say the Celtics just off the whim, but man, I don't even know how to bet against them dogs. That's one of the dogs in this playoff thing right now. But they just are young and they don't have the superstar power aside from Jimmy Butler, who's an all-star. But I would say, okay, Celtics in a 6-7 if I had to predict right now. And then I say Lakers lose to the Clippers in 6. I still don't think they have the star power. LeBron's getting old. Anthony Davis is. They're both superstars. Let's not get it twisted. I didn't say that. But the offensive star power to combat with the offensive trio of Kawhi, Paul George, and Lou Williams with shooters and other people who can get their own bucket occasionally. In comparison to the Lakers, who rely heavily on AD, heavily on LeBron, and a lot of spot up shooters. Hopefully Rondo will be back. Maybe if Rondo's back, then I could see me changing my opinion somewhat. But I don't see the fluidity. I see the Lakers being stagnant a lot this series. Given Kawhi's gonna be guarding Bron and AD gonna have somebody tough on him. But we'll see. I got the Clips, and then if that's the case, Clippers versus Celtics, I think the league might try to make it Lakers Celtics if that's the case. But this is me going off hope. This is me going off the hope that things are just. Clippers. My back pick was Clippers versus Raptors in a Kawhi revenge series. That was my back pick. But if the Celtics win the 7 with this 2-0 head start, it's Clippers Celtics. So I will have Clippers getting that chip still. Every way I see it, I see Clippers. It could be my bias or not, but that's just how I see the game of basketball with the dynamics that they have in comparison to the dynamics that everybody else has. They have the best player in the league who plays both sides of the ball, and offensively they can be good, defensively they can be good, even though defensively they've been on a drought. But yeah, that's just my thoughts, my predictions, my past predictions being checked. I was wrong on a couple of things. I was wrong about the Heat losing. I was wrong about Luka getting locked up. Even though I said he was a killer and I knew he was gonna fight. I was wrong about Thunder losing by 1 bucket. I was wrong by 1 bucket, yeah, nigga. And we was right about the rest, but we gonna see how these second round predictions go, and we gonna see how the rest of this playoffs go. Let me know your thoughts, your comments. Subscribe to Dane's World. Hit that like, hit that share. It's your boy Peace, man. Let me know your thoughts on the playoffs. This shit is wild. I ain't gonna lie. The world is crazy. And then watching this motherfucking bubble, it's crazy. It's crazy everywhere around this bitch. It's your boy Dame, man.